Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You're the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, folks? Appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in on this Monday here. Folks, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. The hot dog streams were silly, but Nick is a serious artist now. I see y'all in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in. Yes, your host, the American Anchor Baby, is live. He has no hair. His hair is gone. That's enough. That's enough. I appreciate you tuning in on this fine Monday. Those who joined us over the weekend, well, Friday, I'm sure you all remember. If you were there, you were there. If you weren't, maybe you caught the replay. But you want to be there. You want to be there. You want to click on the notification bell. You want to hit all the little buttons so that you can get on the plane and not miss your flight. Okay, you don't want to miss your flight. Fridays at around 4 p.m., we take a little flight. And we landed safely and beautifully. Where did we land? Oh, we went to Atlanta. We were flying Spirit Airlines. We flew Atlanta to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. What a landing for those who were there. Truly exciting, a roller coaster ride of a landing. But we got there. We got there and we're alive. And we're here today, Monday. How many times? I mean, we do this every weekend. We don't crash anymore. What's up, Mr. Pink, Lord Bibby, Frederick? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm just checking out the chat right now, catching up with the folks here before we get going. Because it's all, there's the fights continue. The people are mad. The border continues to be open. Amazing things happening. I know the Grammys happened. I swore I wasn't going to talk about them. But then I read something Jay-Z said. So I might even talk about that. Get into a couple of things here. Amazing things, right? Amazing things going on. Joel even talked about enhanced games, steroid Olympics. I know he was saying he doesn't want it, but you've heard me. I might want to talk about that a little bit. So we got a couple of things to get into today. Someone stole my luggage, says Bobby Blanco. Should have kept it close. We were flying Bobby Blanco. We were flying Spirit Airlines. Don't get mad at me. It's the nature of what you flew. Okay. Good morning, Frederick. What's up, username? God landed the plane. You know it. Were you there, username? Pleasure. Right on. How you doing? But what else? Any more housekeeping? What's up, old saucy mildew grew hake report? I'm live on Rumble. That's rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Twitch.tv/Gorgonzola. What's up, D-Live folks? Lemons. So many lemons and ice creams. Thank you. So that's all. That's pretty much it, folks. 888-775-3773. You want to call in, you want to jump in, you want to talk about what you want to talk about. I'd be happy if you called in. Joel talking about Peter Thiel. That was funny. If you didn't catch the Joel Friday TV show, you got to catch it. It's Monday through Thursday between the Hake Report and the Anchor Baby. I'm sure you guys know, right? I see it in the chat every now and then. Joel has a show? Yes, Joel has a show. And he was talking about Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel! And the problem of in these billionaires. No, I'm making it more than it was. He was talking about this interesting story on a billionaire wanting to bankroll the Olympics on steroids. I mentioned this not even that long ago. Wanting to see an enhanced league. Look, I want to see the mile run under 2 minutes. Might be asking. Maybe that's superhuman. Close to 2 minutes. Why not? Under 2 minutes. Why not? Glad you cut your hippie hair, Nick. I know. I was looking. It's one of my immaturities. Let's be real. Don't the GQs? Don't the men get haircuts every 2 weeks or every month, regularly? I let it go until I'm like, what am I doing? Then I chop it off. And then I really see what Norwood I'm at. What's my Norwood looking like lately? So ever since I started at the JLP show, I know we're supposed to be talking about news and what I want to talk about, but this is a really self-centered, egotistical moment on the show right now. Figuring out my Norwood, if you don't know, that's the hair loss scale. Hair loss scale? Right? Norwood 0. You're basically a teen. Although I had friends in high school who were losing their hair early high school. I'm thinking I'm like a Norwood 1.5 or something. Some people are saying you're still a 0, Nick? Nah. You think? Nah. I don't know why. It doesn't seem like it. Maybe when I look at photos. 1.5 Norwood. We're looking at. I need a Norwood scale graphic. That's what I need. I need a Norwood scale. You know, like how you have those scales on some certain websites telling you how white the country remains. Nick, you changed too much too soon. I know people don't like change when it's too much. That's why nobody minds the hair growing out. It's slowly, like you're being like a boiled frog. Slowly. You guys will get used to this. Will grow out, and you guys will be loving it in no time. So don't freak out, Nick. You changed too much too fast. You got about 5 more years with it. Says everything is fake. Thank you. A realist in the chat. A realist. Hey, the Norwood Reaper comes for many. Some say, hey, comes for many. Comes for all. Some say the Chris the Mex vet. I will not repeat that. But keep telling me my Norwood 0. I like it. Maybe just believing it is enough. Right? Stress causes. Anyways, this is a horrible tangent. We're talking about enhanced games. Now we're talking about Norwood. Well, are people freaking out? Who's freaking out? Jessica, calm down, Jessica. First the hot dog is gone. Hot dog. And now this haircut. What's going on? Let me have a range. Or is that too feminine? Is that too girly? Is that should I have a cut? Or can I have a range? I have it long and curly sometimes and then I cut it. Or is that feminine? Oh, I just change it up every now and then. I just got a new color. Highlights now. Now I got can I have a range of cuts or Nick? Damn, Nick cut the hair, LMAO. One's in the chat if a range is too feminine. But look, this is I'm in the industry. This is like tax write-offs. I'm in front of a camera, keeping it fresh. Most people who watch YouTube channels, they're not following, not like you guys. You people who are watching me live, you guys are my folks. You guys are watching me live about my Norwood on this Monday morning, talking about, we're going to get into calls, and I promise. I'm talking about only the most important things here. But Yeah, one's in the chat if it's too if it's gay. GMD Jim says gay. Arrange is not too feminine. Right on username. Arrange. I'm in the industry. I'm in front of a camera. Tax write-offs. Where was I? Nice, Frederick. Thank you for bringing us back to reality here. What are we doing? They're talking about enhanced games. Keep them guessing. You know what I love about Joel's show, Joel Friday? It's funny. I hear him say this too all the time. You don't even need to XYZ. You don't even need to know all the information, know all the intellectual details to know that someone's messed. And he keeps it simple. Peter Thiel, like if you know Peter Thiel, he's like a big investor name. And for those in the politics, the political world, this guy and others, their money behind certain candidates in the Republican world is influential. They're how do I put this? They're simply put, Peter Thiel and other venture capitalists that go around investing in American politics, they're the thinkers that put out many things that your politicians would go around repeating and believing, agreeing with, whatever range of things there. Speaking of ranges. And you don't even need to know all that. Joel was talking about Peter Thiel and his desire to want to bankroll an Olympics on steroids. And like, okay, you got problems. That's why I like it. That's why I watch. So check them out. I'm a little more messed up though. I mean, I'm with Joel. He's saying that anything fake on steroids and all that, it's all, you know, it was deep what he was saying, that not only is for the individual, to have to fake something, even like a physical feat, that is different when you could do it naturally. If you're natty, if you've lost your natty card. But he's also saying something quite deep in general. It kind of weakens society at large. It made me think a little bit about dogs on the JLP show and how man has weakened canine by treating it like you know, these dogs have natural defenses, natural fur, natural coats to deal with being outside. And man, through both breeding and, I don't know, weakening, they've weakened the animal, the canine, for it to be, you know, it just makes me think about that a little bit. Although the difference here is these are people at the top of their game, right? They're already Olympians. They're Olympians, but they've reached a sort of cap, a ceiling. Not a glass one. Not a ceiling made of glass, but a ceiling made of flesh and bone and sinew and nucleus, chromosomes. That's what it's made out of. This ceiling. You have a limit of sorts. You can only grow so strong, so big. Yeah, there are individuals gifted who can grow more than others. But there's an essential natty limit, as they call it. A natural limit, a natty limit. To go beyond, and this is to go further beyond. To go further beyond than the natty limit, you must have physiological levels of these hormones. Steroids, these anabolic anabolic steroids. I yell when I'm all caught up with my words. And they're trying to get past that, right? And so an Olympics on steroids kind of sounds awesome. I've been saying this, like, once we figure that out, once Neuralink gets that figured out, gets all the neural interface all figured out, and we start getting cybernetic limbs. I want to see a cybernetic league. I want to see a steroid league. I want to see the mile run under 2 minutes. I want bread and circuses on steroids, literally. I feel like it would make it about the sport itself again a little bit. Because it's like all this drama. You see NFL, for example. What a drama. It's opera. It's basically opera. Now they got the Taylor Swift episode. This is the Taylor Swift saga now. I feel like NFL, it hasn't been about football for a long time. It's been about drama and politics and a little bit of football, too. Imagine an enhanced league. That's all about, can you run faster? Can you jump higher? Push it. And it'll be dangerous. Absolutely. What he was saying, Joel was saying, is destructive probably, yeah, to society. I'm just saying, maybe I already gave up. This is probably a black pill. No, don't get black pilled. It doesn't exist, especially for Christians. But it's like the cyberpunk America is already coming. It's over. Neon signs, trench coats, Chinese letters everywhere in America. Immigration out of control. Whites will be a minority. And this is all fantasy, right? I'm not saying will like it will. Enhanced leagues where you give up everything. Even your own body, you put your own body mutant league football, Nada's with me, where you give up your whole body and your soul just for a chance of glory. I mean, isn't that kind of how our society is right now anyways? We don't need the cyberpunk neon signs, genetic modification, and cybernetic limbs to realize that man is already like that in America, at least in my lifetime. When you look at it, it's kind of always been that way. But our society is quite a brutal one, and it gets more brutal. The warlord is coming. We've already seen the avatar of the warlords already appear on the world stage. The Andrew Tate-like peoples of the world, men of the world. Maybe not so much Andrew Tate, but I don't know if Andrew Tate's a killer, but I'm just saying, yeah, like a master in many areas, hoarder of a lot of wealth and women. You see what I'm saying? Let the Hunger Games begin. Well, I'm just messing around. But yeah, let's go. Steroid league. Maybe I gave up. Maybe that's why. Because I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on myself, and I'm gonna just watch my thoughts, watch my emotions, and let the world go into cyberpunk hell. I say, bring on the steroid leagues. Enhancements. Let's see. I want to see what more amazing things could we see. Because it's like already here. They've already let in all the droves of foreigners and the dystopian Black Mirror. Nick, you don't watch any games, LOL. Maybe that's true, Kevin Howe. But Kevin, are you saying I don't watch any football games? So are you a sports ball watcher, Kevin Howe? Doesn't it feel like the sport itself keeps taking a sideline to the players and the who's who and the drama and now the politics, now Taylor Swift. I remember getting into soccer because I like seeing the individual movements with the ball, the touches, the beautiful game, whatever. But where was I? I was just rambling about the cyberpunk future, the Peter Thiel Olympics on steroids future. The cybernetic future. I say, I want to see something amazing. I'll just watch myself. Like politics isn't just as much a game. Absolutely, Kevin Howe. No, I don't think we're in disagreement at all. Roid bots for president. Nice. Nice. Right on, Kevin Howe. I want to see amazing things. I want to see Nick, that's right, Nick. The athletes that don't juice would feel more comfortable with saying you need to go play for the steroid league. Exactly. Wait, what are you saying, Frederick? Are you saying that like we would? Are you saying that if we had a steroid league, those who want to see the Natty League, the Natty Cup, would it would be better for both because now that you have a steroid league, you won't have cheating in the regular league? Is that what you're saying, Frederick? I want to hope that that's true in the cyberpunk future of America, but I think cheating. Hopefully they figure that out. Maybe how to really catch it, because cheating. Here's another thing that I like about what Joel was saying about being natty and all that, and cheating in general. You know what? And this is maybe for you a little, Kevin Howe, and anybody who watches sports. Tell me if this is true. People who watch sports. I believe this is more true for baseball. But I heard this once. If you don't cheat, you don't care about winning. And then that's like a normal thing in baseball, for example. If you don't cheat, you don't really care about winning. And cheating, when not dealt with, becomes the meta. You know what a meta is? Where am I using? I don't even know what that word really means. I'm using that word from like gaming or something. I think, or from chess, really, from chess. A meta is a strategy that the majority of people are using to win. High-level players and something. A strategy. And the meta, cheating, becomes the meta if not dealt with. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, says Chris. And I think he might be correcting me. Think about that. There wouldn't be a natty league. That's the point. They'd never compete. Interesting. Yeah, all the cheating. I guess the natty league is just playing at the park nearby. If you ain't cheating, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Eddie Guerrero, I lie, I cheat, I steal. They made the Mexican wrestler, WWE wrestler, Eddie Guerrero. They made the Mexican wrestler, his theme song was, I lie, I cheat, I steal. It made sense. To be fair, rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. He was like a villain. He was like one of those, what do you call him? A villain, not a foil. I think I erroneously called it that once. Eddie Guerrero, I lie, I cheat. Classic Mexican, says Chris. I laughed too a little bit. Total tangent. This is the Tangent Show. It was James, I think, mentioning something about, what was he saying? This was quite interesting. I'm using all my bandwidth to remember. About the Hispanics and then not being really that moral. And glorifying being immoral. Yes, I remember now. It was James, he was saying that, and he had evidence for this. How the Hispanics, the Mexicans, they actually glorify doing wrong if the ends justify the means. He didn't say all that, but I was watching a bunch of stuff about Santa Muerte and that religion and this will fit too, since I'm about to get into the border stuff. And I was watching Channel 5, Andrew Callahan. He's a total liberal, but he's been doing some interesting reporting over there at the border. He went to the Texas border and he was talking to coyotes and everything. People who follow Santa Muerte. And an interesting thing about it was finding how the Hispanics, the Mexicans in Mexico, they have this, it's more prevalent in the gangs and the violent and the people with the criminal element. They go into the Santa Muerte stuff, which is this quasi-pagan sort of anti-Catholic religion derived from Catholicism religion, sort of, where it's a rebellion against the Catholicism and the morality that's kind of prevailed, quote unquote, in Mexico. And so they rebelled against it. They call it Santa Muerte. It's the worship of the saint of death. It actually comes from Catholicism. It's a whole strange thing. But I come to learn that a central tenet in this is that you're basically this like honorable thief. You're this honorable Robin Hood. You have to be this cartel parrandillero. Like you got to be this guy, but you're doing it for your family. You're doing it for your village, your town, And that makes you good. It makes you this noble criminal thing is quite common, in fact. So, just a total random tangent. The Tangent Show, thank you for tuning in. If you fly tangent to flat Earth, you will be in outer space. Use name trying to start some controversy. Los Guerreros, right on, Eddie Guerrero. I mean, it was a good time. I remember watching WWE. I loved it. I was a big Undertaker fan. It was just too cool. This guy's like dead, and he's going to make you dead. Anyways, remembering a little bit of my conversation with Mr. Mad and others, Mr. Pink as well. The two misters. Friday. On the flight, if you missed it, you missed it. We had a nice flight. We were talking about Vince McMahon and all that allegation crap. And from what I heard on Friday, it doesn't sound at all like anything like a big deal. It doesn't sound like sex trafficking. But yeah. Where was I? Enhanced leagues? No, we're done with that. And all these, yeah, I mean, this all kind of takes me to a little bit about the border here. Incredible. The bill. You heard of this, I'm sure. This big bill. They got together. They got the Trinity. They got an independent. They got a Republican. They got a Democrat. And they're here to fix America. Just in time, in fact. Imagine that. Here to fix everything. So this big old bill that's coming around. I want to get into it. I don't want to miss any super chats or anything like that. Because I do have some. Thank you, Vasconomi. With a super chat that says there will be in the future high maintenance women and men, obviously. Yeah. There's some already now. When you say high maintenance men and women, are you responding to the enhanced peoples? Are you talking about you're going to need an engineer and a doctor in the future? Why not become the engineer? Then you'll always be useful. Carver, thank you for the coffee, says one of the most important part of pro wrestling is t-shirt sales. You could learn much from Mr. McMahon, Nick. Carver, I'm not going to let you down, man. I've been working on something. And I see the vision, and I'm not skilled enough, and I'm like, hey, QSA is a slow locomotive. It's gonna take me some time to get going. I can't compromise the vision. I will not compromise the vision. You will get the hot dog shirt the way I see it in my mind. Although the shirt you sent me, Carver, I love that shirt. It's a little globe with a hot dog in a plane. Where do you even find something like that? Was that AI generated? Right on. Republicans at war over $118 billion border bill. And that's the news. Let me just move some things around here. Let me move some things around. Because it's $118 billion. It was a border bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson joined other Republicans who have already deemed the bipartisan, it's bipartisan, folks, Senate border deal dead on arrival. This centers around this security package, if you haven't been following. That, okay, so basically the border is open. You know this. And they've been fighting about it in the government and Congress for a while now. This goes back even to Kevin McCarthy being removed. And the Republicans and the holdouts trying to fix the border, trying to get some concessions here to get some things done. This bill, this package put forth by a Republican. James Lankford, I showed you a little clip of him the other day. Kristen Sinema, Independent, Arizona. Chris Murphy, Democrat, Connecticut. They are the ones unveiling this security package that they want to vote for, send it to where? To the House. You know how it works. And then it gets voted on. But Republican infighting is likely to tank the compromise as Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer plans to bring the first procedural vote on the floor to the floor on Wednesday. Reading this from Daily Mail. And yeah, so you're aware now of this infighting that is, they're saying it's going to completely tank it, okay? This is not going to go through. The current speaker that replaced Kevin McCarthy is calling it dead on arrival. You got Trump getting in there. Sorry, just remembered an old video. You got Trump getting in there, telling the people, don't do it. Don't do it. And of course, people are mad. You see the media, all of a sudden, they're saying, well, Republicans, they're suddenly at war and infighting. They're infighting the border security bill, the bill that's going to actually bring security to the border, and they're fighting it. That's how you see these headlines, how they're written right now. Which is a little rich. Border bill. I mean, this is the bill that's going to fix it. What do you freaking... Trump calls border bill a death wish for Republican Party. Don't be stupid, he writes. He excoriated a bipartisan border security bill put forward by the senators I mentioned, calling it a death wish. Only a fool or a radical left Democrat would vote for this horrendous border bill, which only gives shutdown authority after 5,000 encounters a day, when we already have the right to close the border now, which must be done. Trump wrote on Truth Social, which is, it can be done right now. Many are saying this, okay? The levers, the legal abilities and rights are all there for the president to get her done. This bill is a great gift to the Democrats and a death wish for the Republican Party. It takes the horrible job the Democrats have done on immigration and the border, absolves them, and puts it all squarely on the shoulders of Republicans. Don't be stupid. We need a separate border and immigration bill. It should not be tied to foreign aid in any way, shape, or form. It's worth mentioning, Trump mentioning right there, it is tied. It's always tied. It's always tied up together with legislation. No, you can't. What? Wait, you're telling me the border is the top issue for voters on whichever side of the aisle? You're telling me it's a top issue. You're telling me a lot of people have been wanting to see something get done about it for a long time. But you can't. You can't just do that. You can't just do the will of the people. It has to get thrown in with aid, with war aid, all this other stuff. You just can't do it. This is the function of our government. You got to understand that this is the meta. This is how they run things. Their meta is this: to shove things in multiple, in these like big old, these sometimes so big they call them an omnibus, but that's another thing. So yeah, Trump telling them don't do it. The media saying, look, these Republicans don't really care about the border. Now they get to say, well, they don't really care. Look at them fighting. They're going to do the border finally. What makes you think that all of a sudden, after all these decades, that this is the answer right here? They're really going to close her up. A win for Biden, $118 billion, $60 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, $2.4 billion for the Red Sea operation. That's our own military, so I don't know. But they're over there fighting where U.S. soldiers have died. $10 billion humanitarian assistance to Gaza. That's always an interesting number to realize. What the heck is what is the motivation and the actual plan and of our government, of our State Department, of our military, Department of Justice, to both support Israel and all this, but also the humanitarian assistance? I mean, I guess you could just say, well, they're supporting Israel in their war, and then for those bombed and otherwise, here's money for you because we feel bad. Is it really all politics? I think it's all politics. There are voting bases here in America. And if you've seen anything lately, that Biden and the Democrats have been taking a huge hit with all that and going on in Israel, they're seemingly like their own voter base is a little upset with the Democrats and their stance and Biden's stance on Israel and everything. But what can you say about that? I mean, it's really just all politics. And when I see that Ilhan Omar clip going around where she's saying, I'm a Somalian and I want money and all this for the government of Somalia and we're supporting Somalia and I don't care who you are, what you're doing in the U.S. government. It should be totally normal, not a controversial at all thing to say that you can't be doing anything. I mean, I understand that our Congress, I guess, is all there. It's a bipartisan bill. They're all agreeing, sending our money away to Ukraine and Israel. But I don't know if that really represents the people. I'm sure your neighbors will support Israel or Ukraine or not or otherwise or Palestine or Gaza. But that's besides the point that I think that most people here, if you ask them, Democrat, Republican, they might say, yeah, sure, I want more money for whatever, war or foreign aid. But if you showed them the reality, where money's going, how it's not, even the misusing of it, but okay, where the money is being allocated first, where the motivations are first, where the priorities lie with this government and all that. If I think most people, no matter what side, would at least agree that, okay, well, we don't like our priorities aren't the priorities of this government. Just a point I wanted to make, I guess. I think most can agree on that, in my opinion. Displaced Ukrainians and the $20 billion for the border in this bill. That's the money going around. What else do I want to say about this? Anyways, I forgot. I mean, I'm still talking about this, but there was a point about the Red Sea and humanitarian aid, humanitarian assistance. Like I'm saying, the priorities. If people really saw where the government's priorities lie, like Elon Musk here, in fact, with his own attempt to bring light to certain things here that most may not know. Whatever side of the aisle you may be on. In the bet you didn't know category, Elon Musk writes, Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas, the guy they're trying to impeach, the guy who's saying, what, it's not my fault, I'm not doing it, the border's fine, it's great. Mayorkas issued a written guidance. Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas issued written guidance, making it clear that, 1, illegal presence alone is not grounds for deportation. Now, I think a lot of Democrats, I think a lot of even Republicans, feel bad women, and other undesirables would agree with number 1, I think. In most cases, illegal presence alone is not grounds. But 2, this is still from the same written guidance that Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas issued out. This is from Elon Musk, Breitbart as well. He put this out, making it clear to his personnel that illegal presence, number 1, is not alone. Alone is not a grounds for deportation. But 2, that criminal charges, convictions, gang membership are not alone for deportation. What do you guys think? I don't think our brothers and sisters across the aisle would agree with that. In fact, I think even some of them would disagree with number 1. Some, maybe a little bit. So not even convictions, gang membership, criminal DUIs. You saw that recently. The House passing that resolution or whatever saying DUI is not a grounds for deportation or something like that. Isn't that crazy? Yep. So Trump's opposing it. It might not go through this new speaker saying, I'm with Trump. This is dead on arrival, they're saying. And what's in this bill? Besides this appropriations that we're seeing here, the $118 billion and where it's all going. They say, Well, not they say. Breitbart. CNN, in fact. I'm just trying to compile here where I'm getting this from. CNN, Breitbart, on some of the, I don't know, so-called concessions. What do we call them? Compromises on this security package, this framework here. Immediate work permits for illegals. That's great. Taxpayer-funded lawyers for illegals. Fantastic. It's fantastic. Allows for 5,000 illegal crossings. Now, this is one that's been all over the news, and I'm sure you've heard. This whole... A lot of the criticism centers around this provision about allowing 5,000 illegal crossings per day before triggering a clause that would allow you to shut down the border and begin deportations. And others have done the math already. 5,000 a day. I mean, 5,000 a day. 150,000 a month. You know what I mean? 150,000 a month. We got 1.8 million a year. It's really, I think even worse. I think it's even worse than the rate that they've been coming in lately with Biden. 5,000 a day. But then you get to shut her down. Gives Biden the authority to waive the shutdown clause if he decides. Oh, so should 5,000 cross and then you start deporting, if Biden so chooses, he could just let them all in. Which, if you haven't noticed, Republicans, is his whole MO. Mayorkas has confirmed it. Like it all goes up straight to Biden. They all say, yes, this is all good, and this is what we want. We want amnesty. We want. They say we need to fix the border because it's making things difficult. These are the words they use. Mayorkas, Biden, Mayorkas, Kamala Harris. Isn't she the border czar? They say they fix the border. To fix the border means to expedite and make it easier for people to enter. The border they say it. They say the razor wire is in our way. It's making it difficult for our agents to process migrants. And what does that mean, to process migrants? To bring them in and catch and release and throw them out there and give them a pat and say, right on, you're an American. Or you will be. Just come back for this court case, right? Promise. Pinky promise. So, that's what they want to do, Republicans. Don't you understand? That's been the MO, to let them in. It's the whole. It's on purpose. This is financially expedient for some. This is politically expedient for Democrats. Many are saying this. This used to be wacko conspiracy land. Elon Musk making it all mainstream. This idea, which is a reality, and it's happening right now, that demographics change is positive to the Democrats. And that's why they turn a blind eye, and sometimes even worse. They're importing voters. They're padding their census numbers with millions. These are the amount of people equal cities, equal American cities. I think it's like a whole Mexico City that came over in the years Biden's been around. Isn't it 8 million? Or is it 6 million? Still a lot. 2.4 million apprehensions in the last fiscal year. Imagine that. The deal would also include money for Israel, Ukraine, Taiwan, and the Palestinian humanitarian aid. I guess you got to feel bad for them or something. And it's all politics. I don't know what to think. I don't know. I don't know if is Biden are the Democrats pro-Israel or not? What? I don't understand. I think they're pretty pro. I don't know what they are. It's unclear. I'm sure some smarter people than I might know. But it seems like they keep doing two things. Maybe some of you may not see giving aid to people in Gaza as like talking out of both sides of their mouth. But didn't they even didn't they send their like Secretary of State or whatever, Blinken and others over there, and they're all like, yeah, we're with you, Israel, but then also they turn around and say, you guys got to chill. You guys got to have a, what do they call it? A humanitarian pause? What do they call it? They called it a pause. Not a ceasefire. It's not a ceasefire. It's a pause. So who knows? Who knows? I don't really quite know how to make sense of all that. But yeah, FEMA shelters. So that's what these Republicans are trying to push forth. Really bringing us the goods here, those Republicans. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said on a press call that he is confident the majority of senators want to get this done, adding, to do so, we need to shut out the noise. Shut out all this noise. Us people, us bipartisan holders of office here. I'm being sarcastic with this Chuck Schumer guy. Anytime they put forward a bill that they say, we all agree on this, we're not fighting about this, it's just these weirdo holdouts. But the majority of us, the majority of Congress is against the people. So if the majority of Congress is mad, if the majority of the Senate and Congress and the House and all, if they're not happy, that means we're happy. We're good. You know what I mean? They're coming together here. This bill's great. They're just a bunch of Republican holdouts. Chuck Schumer. If the daily average migrant encounters reach 4,000 over a 1-week span, the triggers, this trigger to shut down the border will go off. Okay, I'm reading this from The Hill. So it's 4,000, not 5,000. That's fantastic. That's great. Senator James Lankford was right. Thank you, Senator James Lankford. I'm talking about that senator. I showed you a video not too long ago. And it was the lead GOP negotiator on the border deal. As you know, the border deal was negotiated by a independent, a Democrat, and a Republican, really coming together. When they, I'm being so sarcastic, I know, but it just feels so phony that at the final hour, when they're really pouring in, when the Biden's being criticized the most, it's time to come together. We can do it. Yes, we can. Republicans, Democrats, and an independent. It just feels phony. I don't know what to tell you, but James Lankford was the one who was making the media rounds, wondering what's all this. He was incredulous at all this. What's all this conspiracy and rumor about the border bill? Okay? Because all I'm hearing is a bunch of internet rumors, is what he said, if you remember. I played the clip, and he said about these Republicans who were suspicious about the border bill. He was like, we're basically fixing it, you bunch of crybabies, and I don't understand why you guys are freaking out, because you guys are just talking about internet rumors. Well, it's been a couple days, been a while since Internet Rumors Day, James Lankford, and CNN, The Hill, The Skim, they're all reporting these things that you said were internet rumors. What do you mean? You think I'm just going to let in 5,000 people a day? That's what he said. You remember that? What, you think I'm just going to let in 5,000 people a day? Well, that's. I guess he wasn't lying, folks. Look at me being all sarcastic. It's 4,000. The daily average, if the daily average encounters reach 4,000 over a 1-week span, the trigger. Well, thank you, James Lankford. Well, I'm so wrong. I'm sorry. I'm really laying it on thick with the sarcasm here. Well, thank you. Thank you there, Senator Republican James Lankford out of Oklahoma. Lead GOP negotiator. Firebrand conservative. He responded to Johnson's decision almost immediately. If you don't know, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, also was calling the bill dead on arrival, throwing in, joining in with the criticism. The senator here, though, James Lankford, saying he was confused how the bills could be worse than they expected. I'm just utterly confused. Now, I want to give the benefit of the doubt. I want to see what's up here, but it sounds like text of the bill has come out. Remember, he was saying all that when he was saying the text hasn't even come out. You guys are talking about internet rumors. unless I'm mistaken here, I'm misreading something here, the text has come out. The CNN, the reports are out. And you got James Lankford here. I'm a little confused, he says, how it's worse than they expected. When it builds border wall, it expands deportation flights, expands ICE officers, border patrol officers, detention beds, how it creates a faster process for deportations, cleans up loopholes that have existed in asylum law, long-term issues that have existed in asylum law, to stop the chaos right now on the border. Right now, all of a sudden, and you guys are agreeing and it's just working out all of a sudden. I don't know what to say, folks. Look at all these amazing things. It expands ICE officers. He says it right there too, long-term issues. They've been around for a long time. I'm a little confused. I'll have to be able to get with the speaker's team on that and be able to find out what part would be worse than what we'd expected based on the actual text. Maybe am I misunderstanding something here? Or does he really mean that it's not 5,000, it's 4,000? What a mess. What a mess. Nick smuggled in one of those beautiful Ukrainian models fleeing from Russian oppression. I'm only a coyote for I'm a simp coyote. I'm only a coyote for beautiful women. Nick smuggled in. Anyways. Where was I? Trump's calling it. I'm with him. I'm not with this Senator James Lankford calling us basically what? A bunch of internet conspiracy theorists? I resent that. James Lankford. And so they're going to duke it out. We'll see what happens there. Will the border be closed? The song and dance continues. Can we have nice things? It's essential. It's essential. Because the people coming don't like the people here. They got a real problem. They're not always even essentially, they're not even necessarily woke or we hate white people but they have an affinity. What do you call it? They group up and it's against Americans and the white man. Usually. Abolitionists they call it woke kindergarten. They call themselves all this crap. I don't even know what they're saying. But they are saying clearly what they do make clear is their disgust of them, this taste of America or whatever. They call them racist. They want to abolish the police. They want to.
Yes, everyone.
Whoa, sorry. They got problems.
When the rumors are true.
They want to. I know this is crap, but it is happening. It is. Maybe this is signal boosting. But yeah, they don't really like the people here. They want to be in kindergarten and teaching kids about racism and stuff.
Yes, everyone, the rumors are true. I am anti-Israel. I am pro-Palestine.
Okay, I'm just showing you. This was in an article. Non-binary activists. I don't even know what this is. Controversial for profit woke kindergarten. So I guess I'm just trying to play random videos to make the point here.
And I am 100% 10 toes down anti-Israel. I believe Israel has no right to exist. I believe the United States has no right to exist.
Well, I don't know. This person's talking about Israel. But look, they even said they don't believe the United States has a right to exist.
every settler colony who has committed genocide against native peoples, against indigenous people, has no...
That's an interesting clip. Actually, I haven't seen this before. I've seen some people trying to say, well, not trying to say, they've made some interesting points about this, about this notion, this notion that Israel, white people, they're all settler colonies, and they're all teamed up on one side against the Palestine and all the anti-settler, anti-colonialists. I guess brown, and so is it really whites and Jews versus the browns and all? Well, I don't know what's going on here, but I've seen some people make that point. And I guess some people really do see it like that. They don't really think beyond many things. They lump it all together. Israel, U.S., a whole bunch of colonialists. But these people are in America. And they vote and they're making babies. Anyways, 888-775-3773. If you want to jump on the air, you want to talk about what you want to talk about. It's totally incredible. What are y'all saying in the chat here? Because what else is there about all this mess? And the Republicans, the do-nothing Republicans. And this border bill, it's going to get fixed when we get Trump, so calm down. You don't need to... Calm down, clowns. You don't need to be doing these bipartisan bills. You need to know these people are your enemies. And anyone who's trying to do concessions and halfway whatever with the border. Okay, enemy. But yeah, Mitch McConnell. It seems like old suspects, these usual names, these rhinos or whatever, calling out these Republican holdouts. These darn Republican holdouts. What do they even want? But what are you saying? Let me catch up with the chat here before we move on here. Thank you, Canadian David. How you doing? Appreciate that, DJ 2020. Thank you so much. I am live. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. DLive.tv/Gorgonzola. What else is there? Amazing things. But okay, shall we move on? I do have callers. Thank you for all the super chats and the support there. You can buy me a coffee. I didn't mention that. And I got to thank Renesio with a coffee. Says, Mr. Knit, I don't cut or comb my hair because Einstein never did. People always tell me, good job, Einstein. I don't think I'm as smart as Alfred Einstein. Why you cut the curls, dude? Man, like I was saying earlier, it's just time. You gotta clean up. You can't be looking. The Cowboy Bebop phase had to end eventually. Eventually, it's all in my face, and I may not be as mature. I already said this earlier, but I may not be as mature or something. I don't know what it is, the maturity. Where these men get these regular haircuts. I just let it go. I let it go, and then I cut it, and then people comment. It's like, wow, it's such a big change, and then I grow back, and that's my life. Renesio, thank you. Maybe I'm thinking of other curly-haired geniuses. Albert Einstein, they say he's a genius. That's why John Coltrane's hair was so curly. John Coltrane's hair, I mean, if you didn't know, little known fact, John Coltrane's hair was so curly because he was so smart. And maybe because he was black. But okay, he was really smart in that whole music stuff. Anyways. But yeah, thank you, Renesio. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Appreciate that. Okay, let me sit up. Where was I? Oh, I have calls. 888-775-3773. I want to get into something here. I mean, maybe something what Jay-Z said, something interesting there. I wasn't going to talk about the Grammys, but I might have to. I don't really care about the Grammys. For frig's sake. Don't say frig's sake. I got Latin A in Cali. Appreciate your call, Latin A. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good, thanks. Can you hear
No
me okay?
woman is good. Got him. Yeah, I hear you just fine, Latin A. Go ahead.
I said I'm doing good.
Oh, I heard you say I am good. My bad. Go ahead. You were saying?
Or did I? I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. That's not why I called about. That thing that you just played was a freak of nature. And you can kind of tell she's not all there or ain't too bright or something. She sounded like she came out of the hood.
Oh,
the one that said that America doesn't deserve to exist.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She doesn't look very strong either, and she has a terrible haircut, or it has a terrible haircut.
Dang, it. Don't use dehumanizing language. No, I'm joking. I'm just messing around. You're talking about that, the America hater.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Shaved head.
I was almost confused because I'm like, who are you talking about? I played a clip of a male, but you're right, that was a female. That was a lady.
Yeah.
𝒂𝒎, Gross. Her last name's Gross.
Yeah, there's no way that was a man.
Well, there you go. Is God playing a little joke by naming this person Gross? Her last name is Gross.
Oh, really? Didn't I just say
𝒂𝒎 Gross? Reports the news. Yep, Gross.
You know, have you heard that in like other countries, like in Sweden, they're sending like these migrants to the gym for free? And I think I've been seeing a similar thing in my local gym. I think they're, signing up for the gym. They're being encouraged to go to the gym. They want them to be strong and healthy, right? So what are Americans going to be doing? Are Americans really at the gym enough to be strong and just stay healthy anyways in case things, get bad?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Aren't we isn't America really obese? You were saying? Go ahead.
I wanted to email some videos to you, and you told me some email, but I didn't understand what the email was. Was it
radio?
Could you repeat?
Radio at 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔.
And then subject would be to you, or
yeah, no, that'll be my work email. You can send anything you send a radio, I'll see.
Okay.
Radio at 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔.
Of John F. Kennedy saying that he wanted, for there to not be fat kids in school, and that
I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah.
I think I saw that. It's JFK, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen that. It's like a video. He's trying to motivate parents and the youth into being fit. And it's and the whole thing, I think the whole thing centered around it being, this would be not just a positive thing for it, it would be an almost honorable, noble thing to do for the country. To be at your best. To be at your fittest, to be capable. Which is an interesting thing. You don't really hear that from our government, our media. You don't really hear that, them saying, be your best, be as fit as you be so that you could be ready. I don't really see that anywhere. But you're telling me they are saying that for the migrants, the illegals.
Well, in Sweden, they are doing that. And there's a documentary showing how they're doing it and why supposedly they're giving them the free gym memberships and the free English lessons all day long, and or whatever language they speak in Sweden, I don't know. And
it might be Swedish.
And Americans here, we don't get free gym memberships, but it's right now it's usually affordable in most areas. And even if you don't have a gym membership, there's still things that we can do to get healthy.
Absolutely.
And the reason also why I called is because Glenn Beck interviewed a rancher recently, a couple of days ago. Did you see that interview?
I didn't.
With the rancher?
No, I did not.
The rancher said that they're fooling us with the meat, how they repackage it, how the USDA can get meat from another country and repackage it and say it's USA.
Really? So
yeah.
They're doing, what do they call it? Silver label on our meat?
I don't know what that means.
I think that's a term. I could be misusing it, but when you see some of these, people selling like coffee or something, their own branded coffee, but they're just taking a already some supplier supplies the product and then you slap your label on it. I forget what they call that industry, but I think they call it silver label or something like that.
Yeah. And he said that we really need to learn the Constitution, and he's right, because they don't really teach the Constitution in schools. I mean, is it up to the public school? Maybe not. You know, maybe we have to teach ourselves outside of public school. But maybe, you know, some people can homeschool. But, like, for those of us that are not in school anymore, isn't there, like, liberty classes that Mark Levin advertises or something? Does anybody know what the...
What are classes to learn civics and all that?
To learn, like, the Constitution, and I think it's civics.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I was reading something about early Americans and how even the farmers and the uneducated, I think, knew civics. They knew how the country worked. They knew about voting. They knew they were involved. They knew what was going on. They were involved and what was going on locally and all that.
Yeah, because like I don't even know the Constitution. I mean, I'm a female. Should I know it, even if I want to repeal the 19th or whatever people are saying now? You know what I mean?
Should you what?
Should I know the Constitution, being a female?
Sure. Why not? What are you going to do with it? You just want to read the Constitution?
No.
Are you going to get it in your head or something? You'd be like,
no, the farmer said we need to know the Constitution.
Can you say that again? You cut out.
The farmer said we need to know the Constitution, that we, as Americans, do not know the Constitution to protect our rights.
Yeah.
And that we need to get back to protecting the Constitution and knowing it.
Yeah, I mean, you see those videos of those people going around the colleges doing those interviews, a man on the streets. They are ridiculous and silly. Oh, look at this college person doesn't know this about America. But there's a point there. There's a point there. People don't know what's going on. Latin A in Cali. Last thing you want to say before we move the wheels here?
Yeah. Hopefully you guys can start promoting people to stay in shape every day, and hopefully you guys make it part of your daily lifestyle and not just a chore.
Nice. You can be fit. It doesn't take that much. A couple days a week. It's true. I know my friend, he got jacked with just body weight. No, not even going to the gym. At home, doing body weight exercises. You can do it. Right on, Latine. Appreciate it. Call me again.
Thank you.
Push-ups, pull-ups, no weight squats, and sit-ups. I'm telling you. And yes, it's called white label. You're right. Mama with the good hair. Thank you. Yeah, white label. It's called white label, not silver label. White label. You're absolutely correct. The gym, LOL, says Nada. You could just eat right and work with your hands. Be active. Gym kind of vain and beta. Right on, Nada. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. You could do just body weight. I don't know. I just have a buddy who is in great shape, just doing body weight exercises at home. I guess a pull-up bar is what you need. Otherwise, though, he's doing fine. I'm telling you, striated. He's looking great. I don't know what to say. I noticed, too, when I obsessed about it the most is when I was, I don't know, I was really all chubby and fat. I was like counting every calorie. I feel pretty strong and healthy now. Just kind of being Just naturally eating okay. Anyways, I'm not your health guy. Don't look at me. Not yet. I'll get to that. Then I'll be your health guy. I feel like there's so much like that in my life. I'll get to that. But where was I? It is an interesting thing, though. Doesn't it feel like the gym and the gym culture is more popular than ever in America? That the industry, Gymshark, and the whole gym life and the culture, your macros, people know the words more because they've dipped their toes into this fitness world. It feels like that's more popular than ever. And yet, are we unhealthier than ever? I don't know. It seems like the whole gym culture is more popular than ever for the worst reasons, though, for the vanity of it all. And here's what I don't understand. Tight clothing. Couple thoughts on tight clothing. Number one, it used to be a privilege. You used to have to earn yoga pants. You used to have to earn those tight leggings and all that. Ladies, I'm sure this is also for the men too. There's probably a corresponding piece of clothing here, like those wife beaters, but the really really thin ones, those bodybuilders wife beaters that is like that they start like over here, and if you just move wrong, it'll show your nipple. You have to earn those. You got to earn those. If you're gonna wear those things, you got to earn them. But another thing, just pointing out this. You know what I'm saying, Carver? You know what I'm saying, Carver? You don't just get to wear they make yoga pants and all these pants and in every size now. That doesn't make sense. You used to earn those. But another thing about that, tight clothing. Imagine if I went around with tight clothing that showed off certain bits. You know what I'm talking about? Imagine if I showed off and it left nothing to the imagination. And I just went around, walking around like that in the gym. Printing like a mug. I'm sorry to put that image in here. Printing like a mug. People would look at me and they would look at me like a sex offender. People would look at me like a sex offender. They would call the police on me. But yeah, women with their... You see what I'm saying here, folks? It's a crime if I did what women do. It would be a crime. High school rules. What are you talking about, username? I'm just saying. Where were we? We got calls, 888-775-3773. Frederick, Los Angeles, you're on the air. Appreciate your call, sir.
Good afternoon, Nick. How's it going?
All is well. Thanks for your call, Frederick. I was actually thinking about you. And a question.
Oh, yeah.
And a question I was wondering why we had a conversation recently, and I couldn't believe, why didn't I ask you that question? A question I thought of. But okay.
Did I forget my mama?
No. Not that. That's none of my business. Unless you want to talk about that. That'd be interesting.
No. What's up?
All is well, Frederick. I see here you want to comment on the UN funding. The question I'm talking about is on America being great. Our most recent call, you said, name me 1 year America was great. It almost went by. I guess you could... It went by so easily, like I almost didn't even notice. So, are you saying there was never a year where America was great? America was never ever great in your eyes, in your mind?
We're working towards greatness.
But was it ever great at all? Ever?
Nah.
Really?
Nah.
America was never. What's great? What would make it great?
Great would be like perfect attendance. We ain't gonna never be perfect. So I mean, to call ourselves great, that's like an ego trip. I don't know why we have to be good before we're great.
Not necessarily.
I wouldn't even say we're good.
Evil people can be quite great.
Great at being evil doesn't make you good.
Right. It makes you great. And I'm not saying America was evil. It was, but yeah, America was. There's evil too, and especially more than ever. But I'm just saying.
Great doesn't always mean positive. There's a great negative.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But I think America, you'd have to be. Come on, America was great.
This is the problem. This is the problem right here. The colonized,
a world superpower, the leaders of the entire world for decades, for a long time. 100 years more?
You just
That's
said
great.
Something.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You just said something that made me think, like, wow. You call it white label when you do the least work. Somebody does the work for you. You put your label on it. Let's say it's cotton, and you resell it for a profit. White label.
You're really
gonna say something genius, right?
Go ahead.
But anyway,
you're really gonna wait. No, I got to comment on that. You're really gonna compare. That's funny. I'll give you that, Frederick. That's funny. That's cute. It's white label. It's white label to put your name on someone else's work, and they put all the work in. But that is not a fair comparison to what America. Are you gonna try and say the wealth of America was built on cotton?
If you bought the slaves and they did the work in this,
was the wealth
label
of America built on cotton?
Majority. That is
really
the labor was.
You have to check out one of my videos on the one of my white history moments.
Oh my goodness! I think we having deja vu right now.
I know. I just realized. I think you did check it out.
Yes, I did.
And you didn't learn a thing.
We talked.
America's wealth was not built on cotton, and to say that to do your little white label joke there, it doesn't really fit. Okay, it doesn't really fit because it makes it sound like slaves built America, which is just not true.
I mean, white
they
label
helped.
for it to even be a thing. How can somebody else not sell their product what they're giving to you to slap a label on the sale? That means don't worry, they're just enfranchised people that need you to make a profit off of their work. So therefore,
this is this is closer to the story the analogy or metaphor is closer to the America is the coffee already. And the label and or whatever some percentage there and then the slaves and the minority. Wait, you gotta let me finish. And then the slaves and the minority, they're just like there's some of the coffee beans in there. There's some of the beans in there. They're not you're making it sound like slaves did all the work. That's just not true.
All around the world today, the UN right now is making a big deal. Like the UN's uniting. These 15 white European countries that just stopped funding the UNRWA because Trump stopped funding them back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden restarted funding them in 2021.
Right.
The UNRWA are being accused of having to do with the October 7th attack in Israel. There was a vacuum left. Trump quit funding these people. Yeah. So Hamas moved in, and they got in some of the funding jobs once Biden started giving them money again, and then 12 of them.
I'm trying to follow along. So Hamas, you're saying Hamas is getting money from Biden?
No.
But I'm following. So the UNRWA, they supply money. They supply humanitarian aid. They've been supplying humanitarian aid to that area, to Gaza. Is that fair to say? To Gaza, the Palestinians for like a long time, no? Like 75 years? Like how many years?
Years.
Like a long time, like decades, no?
Yeah, Trump was the first one in 70 years to stop funding Democrat or Republican.
A long time. Okay.
70, yeah.
I'm just trying to make it clear because I'm following. So UNRWA, they're now going to be funded by this latest package, correct?
No.
Oh, I'm following.
They're withdrawing the money from them because they had something to do with October 7th.
They're saying they did. Okay.
No,
I didn't know that.
15 of them already have as of today. and they're still withdrawing money from this group that only provides humanitarian aid to Gaza. They're trying to kill the people starve them out. It's the humanitarian aid is what this group does to 2 million people in that area. So they cutting off the money, and other countries are contributing to cutting off more funding to this area over these 3 dead soldiers that got killed, in Jordan. So they giving Joe Biden a reason to try to go for a one state, but really Joe Biden sent a attack and no one was killed, and Iran was like, okay, that's fair enough exchange. So we're going to see if Bibi wants to de-escalate this and go back to a 2-state solution, or if he want to keep pushing for World War III. But UNRWA is only being right now funded by black countries. If you look right now, all the European countries withdrew funding, but they're all in cahoots. Like America might be the guy that has the other countries around in that area acting out just because we're going to back them. We need to cut ties with these people and let them do
with
their
which
own
people?
thing.
Cut ties with which people? With
all foreign countries.
All foreign, okay.
Yeah, until we work on ourselves, because it's a mess going on over. Check it out.
So
Look
you
up
don't want the
UNRWA
UNWRA funding?
What are they funding? Humanitarian.
No, but you don't
water.
want that. You don't want that humanitarian aid. You're saying no on that.
No, the UN is all 193 different countries is in the UN. They all fund that humanitarian aid. The United States is part of 193 different UN members.
Gotcha.
So out of the 15 that quit, it's still 170 something still giving money to the UN. But it's just the fact that they're showing what side they're standing on, and it's almost like, are you going to be anti-Semitic and stand with them? Because Saudi Arabia, they still giving aid. They're in the UN. There's still a lot of countries, a lot more. So if they divide the UN, it doesn't look good for America. They was already trying to bring America up on humanitarian charges of how they treat blacks. So I don't think they want to really. That's the world court. You understand?
I understand. So you're saying this is a sign.
South
This is a
Africa
sign that Biden and European countries they've taken a side here. Is that what you're saying?
They're picking a side. Yes.
Okay,
And
I'm following you on that point. I'm following you on that.
South Africa told Israel they're doing genocide and they got 30 days. So this is all part of a civil war or a split between the UN, I think, and World War III is about to either you're gonna pick a side, and I think they're picking sides right now. And I don't know. You gotta look into this.
But what if you? You're not saying. You're just telling me some news. You haven't really concluded anything. I mean, it sounds like to you this is a sign that your Democrats and Europeans have sided with Israel. I guess is that what you're saying? I don't know if it's.
Yeah,
clear. I don't know if that's that clear. I don't know if that's that clear.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
With Israel,
The State Department says they have their own plans. They'd rather see different things go on in the region. The policy of America has been, to stabilize the region.
They're looking for more funding from America. They want America to be the funding of Israel, one state, new country, and drain America for another 20 years for security. Because once they get more land, they need more security. So once it's a one state, we're going to be paying out our butt for Israel to go over and pick more land from Iran and Iraq, from drones. And it's not if they can't support or defend their borders with what we give them now, and they let that October 7th attack happen, that's their fault. We don't need to be babysitting with our kids and playing with our dollars because of their religion over there. You know what I mean?
I think I'm actually following you now. You're basically saying America first.
America first. Reparations, baby.
Okay, now that's too. Now you took the joke too far.
That's right. But
it was unclear because I'm not aware of all the news. I'm not aware of all the news, and I just try to make it clear here. But you're saying we just don't give all these. You don't want to get into all these wars and all that. Is what you're saying?
Exactly. I don't want to get into wars. And
why is that so hard to make clear?
Oh, but listen, I don't know.
For me, because I'm uneducated. I'm talking about myself, Frederick. Appreciate it. Go ahead. You were saying
if we be like, okay, in the year 1850 to 1700, the American dollar was backed by gold, so we want our gold back from you, central banks or whoever is Federal Reserve owning, and then once we get our gold back, we can get our dollars back. Because our dollar, we want the.
But you don't even believe America was ever great.
No, it wasn't great.
You believe it was ever great.
We can make it great. We can make it good.
So you want to make it different. You want to make it something else.
No,
but for now, you're an interesting ally because you don't like Israel. I guess I don't know what to make of this.
If we can get our own equity back, we will stand longer or better as a country. We're just putting equity in America. It's not going nowhere. Reparations is equity in America. Get us out of debt. Then they're gonna be like, oh yeah,
what?
We got it. Oh yeah, it's like a tax write-off. Sorry, China, we owe you 36.
You saying reparations will be that?
Yeah, we got to pay these blacks 50 trillion in gold. Sorry, China, they come first. And then we get the money, and then we're like, all right, 36 trillion ain't nothing because the blacks got this.
You're not America first?
We'll wipe y'all out. Yeah, that's America
You're black first. But that's not even black first. You hate blacks. You hate everybody.
Morocco.
Huh?
All the money's in Morocco. All the money's overseas in offshore bank accounts. Ain't no money in America. They done drained it. These houses
that's somewhat true.
Is propped up, and they really ain't worth what they think it is. And when the stock market crash, we all gonna realize how this happened. Where the money go? They've been printing money, but not money on interest. It's okay. Latina, hey, you had a great call. I'm gonna check into this fake beef and this white label, cause I'm about
whatever.
Everything white label. If I can resell it and make some money, I'm about to go in the white label business. International.
Get you some white label products. What a mess.
What a
You're
mess.
misusing that, Frederick. Take care. Appreciate your call.
I got to look it up there and find the real definition. You think white label ain't that?
No, I'm saying America's not white label. At least not how you were saying earlier. But I'm just chirping you. No big, Frederick. Call me again.
All right.
Right on. I got Renee. We're just having fun, okay? We got through the comment. We got through the topics, didn't we? I guess I was going to say something about Jay-Z. Maybe I'll have some few minutes at the end of the show after Renee here. I got Renee, Los Angeles. Appreciate your call, sir. You're on the air.
Hey, Dick. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Yeah, right on. No problem. Appreciate it.
Freddie is he's kind of a trip, right? I don't know if he's all there, but he makes sense.
When he makes sense, he makes sense. And when he doesn't, he doesn't. And it happens a lot where it's not making sense. And it's a combination of not letting him talk, but it's also, he doesn't make sense. He's talking about a bunch of random stuff and jumping around. And he was just essentially saying, no more foreign aid. And it's like, dude, speak clearly. Either he's
a finish line.
Or I'm not that smart. And I think that's that's probably more likely true. Let's be real.
Come on, man. He sees like the finish line, and he's just like bullheaded going there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think that might be true.
But he's wicked smart, like Sean.
You're saying Frederick is? Yeah.
Right.
He seems to be one of those people, yeah. Knows a lot of things. Too much for your own good. You went all the way around and now you sound like CNN. Sometimes.
Exactly.
Anyways.
You know what's funny about those going to the gym? And like right now you have to be like super careful. Like if you happen to look at someone or even like do a simple rational question. If you ask someone like, "Oh, are you done? Like, how much do you have left?" They might take it super offensive, but that's all in their ego, man. Like they think that every guy's interested in the ladies. It's not even true.
Dang, it's really lately. You have to even be more careful like that. I mean, it wasn't even that long ago. I gave up my membership after the pandemic or during the pandemic or whatever, and it was even then asking someone how many sets. You could maybe get a little attitude. Oh, I've even gotten the oh, I don't know, man. I don't know how many sets. I'm gonna be here for a while. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, right on, man.
All right.
So
Yeah,
you're noticing that? You're noticing people's tensions are high. They can't
I
handle a
haven't
little
been to the gym
question.
I haven't been to the gym like in 2 years, and before that, I was going like twice a day. And now like I need to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just noticed this. I don't know if it's just me, but like the ladies are like being super defensive. Like,
oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't know. Even the guys too, you know.
Why are you talking to me?
So
I'm not.
Yeah,
I have a boyfriend.
Yeah, I was like, all right, man, are you done with that? 10-pound.
Are you asking her for the 10-pound one?
Yeah.
Excuse me, miss. How many sets left with your?
Right.
That's funny.
I
man.
just go for smoothies, man.
Nice.
Whatever.
You gotta get this. You're supposed to earn the smoothies, like the ladies earn the yoga pants.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right. Forgot about that part.
That's all cool, no. But it really sucks. Like everyone's gonna miss your haircut.
You think so?
I guess we gotta get adjusted to that.
There'll be some adjustment time. It's gonna feel a little strange at first, but then we'll get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that mustache scenario.
I don't know if we were ever gonna get used to that. Some things you just don't get used to.
Right. All right, man.
Right on, Renee. Appreciate your call, sir. Call me again. Nice. We're just having a little fun with a little anchor baby mustache. Funny stuff. Appreciate it. 888-775-3773 if you want to jump on there. And thank you for that. Thank you for the support. Vasco and Renesio, thank you. DJ 2020, Canadian David. Thank you. Jim Rat's a bit odd idolatry. Interesting comment, DJ 2020. Yeah. There's a vanity there connected there. I remember starting off, one of the motivations was wanting to look good, wanting to be stronger, wanting to be whatever. Vanity Kevin. Isn't that the greatest thing? According to Al Pacino. I didn't want to talk about the Grammys. I don't really care about this stuff, but I saw this random. I just was going around CNN, picking up some news, doing some dredging, as they call it. And I saw a funny man with some funny hair. Funny looking hair. I don't know if it's becoming. Look at me all on my high horse now that I got a haircut, looking at Jay-Z here. Excuse me, Jay-Z, sir. My good man. A little advice, sir, on the down low here, without telling anyone. Nothing to embarrass you here. It's unbecoming of a man. It's unbecoming of a man to let his hair be so unkempt. I suggest regular cuts, Mr. Z. May I suggest regular cuts on a scheduled time, perhaps, Mr. Z? I'm on my high horse now. I got a haircut. Well, I'm all mature. Oh, I got regular. Anyways, Mr. Z, Mr. Jay-Z, may I suggest? Anyways, he was at the Grammys. He calling out the Recording Academy in his Grammy speech, making a scene, pulling a Kanye if you were watching the Joel Friday TV show podcast. Sorry, Joel, I'm maybe saying it wrong. Joel Friday TV on YouTube. If you were watching. You know, he pulled a little Kanye West. But she should have won. He was talking about his own wife, in fact. But he's on the stage, not with his wife. You may have mistaken her. That's Blue Ivy Carter. That's not Beyonce. She looks really a lot like her mother, I think. Right? She looks a lot like her mother. But no, that's Jay-Z's daughter, Blue Ivy Carter. Jay-Z accepts the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Global Impact Award. This feels so phony. I don't know what to say. As his daughter, Blue Ivy Carter, looks on during the 66th Annual Grammy Awards. 66 years of Grammy Awards. And it took one... No, that was a joke. While accepting the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award with the 12-year-old daughter, Blue Ivy. She's 12? By his side, Jay-Z noted that the industry had come a long way since Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff boycotted the Grammy. I don't even care about all this. In 1989. So it's had history. It's got story. It's got happenstance. And panache. Nope. That might be a food item. Panache? Panaz? Panache. Pistachio. Look, I'm talking about the Grammys, and Jay-Z here he had his speech, and he wanted to make a point here. He wanted to make a point saying, oh, look, people who should win, they don't win, and whatever. He's saying, I'm just saying we love y'all. It's your boy. It's your boy. I'm just saying we love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. We want y'all to get it right. That was my best, Jay-Z. I'm sorry. Jay-Z, at least get it close to right, Jay-Z says. And he's criticizing, admonishing here the Academy Awards for example, his wife, Beyonce, never winning. I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than anyone and never won Album of the Year. He said of Beyonce. Even by your own metric, that does not work. Think about that. Most Grammys, and she never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work, he said. Cheer. What's panache? What did I say there? What words did I use there? So yeah, Jay-Z defending his wife. Bay. Defending his wife, Bay. Bay became the most awarded artist in Grammy's history in 2023. Imagine that. When she earned her Grammy Award for Best Dance Electronic Album. She still makes music. And her celebrated record, Renaissance. I remember taking an old girlfriend to a Beyonce concert. I don't know what I got. I don't know. Simp alert is what it was. Yes, your host took a girlfriend to a Beyonce concert. You got to understand how I wasn't totally blue-pilled, but I just didn't have to consider any pill. I was just me. I was just whatever. And some of me was informed by society, which was you take your girl to a Beyonce concert when you like her. I don't know. And she did, at that time, she had released the album Lemonade, which was like, it was like an anti-man, it was like a man-hate album, in my opinion. And I was just not happy. I sat down I wanted my money back. I was just arms crossed, trying to ruin it. Because it was like this huge anti-man performance. And my girlfriend's like, she's like, Beyonce. The red pills began. That's when the red pills began. When did Lemonade come out? Lemonade. Crunchy Ice came out 2016. It kind of coincides if you look at the timeline. Lemonade. I'm at this show. This woman who I thought loved me is cheering wildly at this man hate. It fits. It really fits. The red pills, they kept coming. Nick hard simping back in the day. Not that hard. GMD Jim. Look at me trying to clean it up. I'm trying to clean it up already. Lemonade written and produced entirely by men. By the way, interesting, Troy. Even when destroying the men, you gotta when you want something done, you gotta get the men to do it. Ankle baby right wing radicalized by Beyonce. Hillary in my chat. I don't know what to feel. Hillary in my chat says, "That's amazing, Nick. I'm not allowed to listen to music in my house." Based, maybe? Based, I think, maybe, possibly based. We may have a very based husband, maybe. None of my business, Hillary. Where were we? But where were we? He's kissing Bey. Bey became the most awarded artist. Okay. Beyonce supporters have long complained she has consistently been shut out of winning the prestigious Album of the Year Grammy. She may have been nominated and won many things, but she never won the Album of the Year. The Recording Academy, the group behind the Grammys, has also long faced criticism for failing to equally recognize women and artists of color. Great. And this is obviously, you don't need me to tell you about the saga, what's been going on with the Academy Awards and Hollywood and art and all that and the Grammys and the NFL and politics and dang, stop me. Someone stop me. And how really the Grammys is really not about music. How not just music. It's about all these other things and music a little. NFL is about all these other things and football too a little bit. Somewhat. It fits all this. So you don't need me to tell you that. The Grammys have been like this for a while, and maybe this also coincides with the downturn, the negative trend in quality and retainment that media has lately. During his speech, Jay-Z quipped, "Some of you are going to go home tonight and feel like you've been robbed. Some of you may get robbed. Some of you don't belong in the category." Shock and awe. Clutching of pearls. Not at the Academy Awards, Jay-Z. Not at the Academy Awards, Jay-Z. How bold. Oh my gosh. Outside, and then this is the part that I read this part, and this is why I wanted to even talk about this, because I don't really care about the Grammys. But it's interesting to see these famous people with money and what they think and what they see as important in their lives and all that. You'll see why in a second here. He apparently said in his speech here, he said outside of that, he's talking about all these, so out of all the criticisms and all the things he just said. So outside of all that, we got to keep showing up, he said, and forget the Grammys for a second just in life. Just keep showing up. You got to keep showing up until they give you all those accolades you feel you deserve. Until they call you chairman, until they call you a genius, until they call you the greatest of all time, you got to keep showing up. You feel me? He says. Ha! You feel me? Ha! Cheer. It's your boy. Hova. Maybe this is obvious. Maybe this is just obvious. But everything really is a spiritual battle. It's so interesting. Maybe some of you don't find it that interesting. Maybe this one's obvious. Jay-Z, here is someone. Fame and money, but that's not enough. Fame and money, you got to keep showing up to these people who won't give you what you feel you deserve until they call you what you feel should be called. I get it. It may be obvious, but this is what we do here. Bond and the network, and this is kind of like right here. This is such a good moment that the world doesn't have the answer. The world is empty. You can get all the money and you can get anything. You can have everything. And you'll be still looking for these accolades from false people, empty people who don't care about anything, who care about themselves. And I get it. You're a professional in an industry, and it's one thing to have a sense of standard and quality in that. And it's one thing to want to achieve a certain thing in your industry, but your industry's dead, just like many things in America. To win in that industry, means to sell out, not sell out, I mean to sell out America. I'm sure you can get your accolades and all that even today in this industry without having to do that, maybe, I'm sure. But don't feel so bad. This stuff's crap. This crap doesn't matter anyways. But it matters to these people. It really does. And I think that's an interesting thing to point out. Because that's what we do. Manhood is not about these accolades. It's not even about what you do. Yeah, I know, I get it. Men, they're the leaders of the world. They lead their families. They affect the world. I'm sure that's true. But it's not even that. It's not even what you do, what you say, what you feel. It's not who you are. So I wanted to point that out. Just keep showing up, he says. Just keep doing the same thing, you crazy person, until you get what you deserve, until they call you the greatest of all time. It's not very Christian either to care about the world like that. And that should teach you, even if you are Christian, about caring about your own congregation or your church, for example, to care about their opinion and are you saved? Are you a Christian? Until they call you Christian, until they call you good, then you just keep showing up. Just keep showing up. That's really we really do have this brutal society. This brutal cyberpunk society where only the enhanced will win. We're only the most brutal. Only the craziest, the one who keeps showing up. Most won't make it. But you're a star. But you're a star. As the star stands on the many bloody bodies before it. I know, this is all like artistic, poetic language. Let's move on here. You guys are following me. You guys are following me here, right? You guys get it. I wonder, too, a little bit on this Beyonce thing. This is a side note. Maybe people who are, actual musicians in the industry who, because I don't want to poo-poo it completely. There's people in the industry that I know, and it's a ramble at this point. But I'm trying to just say this. I wonder, for those that are in the know-how, in the know in the industry, I wonder if a lot of these black and brown and women artists, they got a lot more attention and accolades from the academies because of this push for diversity and crap. But these people didn't really deserve it. But the academy, to placate, handed out these little awards. But you got to understand, angry people, that's never enough. And so now, I made this up. This may not be true. But could it be that now the legions of angry people who you kept feeding, here, have your accolades? No, you're not wrong. You're not evil for hating. You're not wrong for hating the white man and thinking it's all racism and that's your problem. No, you're not wrong here. More accolades. Let's continue to recognize the women and people of color. But we don't really think they're that great. We don't really think they deserve the best accolades. That's why we don't give them the album of the year or whatever. Not due to racism, maybe simply due to merit alone. But then the masses, the placated masses, it's never enough. You got to give them album of the year too. You got to give them everything. I guess I'm just trying to illustrate how evil it is to placate and to make someone feel good and make someone think that all that's pure evil. And it furthers the agenda of destruction and anger in ways that you may not even know quite yet. And that's what I've been thinking about. That's what I've been thinking about today. Appreciate you being with me today, folks. That's been the show today, American Anchor Baby. Hope you enjoyed it. It's what's been on my mind. I got another one for you tomorrow, though. You don't want to miss it. Great shows today, folks, says Mr. Pink. See you tomorrow. Same JLP time, same JLP channel. You know it. More American Anchor Baby. But first, you got Jesse Lee Peterson, Country Western Tuesday. We got the Joel Friday. We got Hake Report, then Joel Friday. And I'll be back tomorrow, folks, at 12. That's noon Pacific time. American Anchor Baby. as we do, keeping it coming. But that's the show. Let me do one final check here, make sure I'm not missing anybody as we say our goodbyes. Fentanyl Invasion says GDM. And you can follow all my links. Thank you, The Hake Report. That's allmylinks.com/anchorbaby. You'll see anything you need there. You'll see where you can buy me a coffee, where you can super chat and watch the show, the podcast, and all that. But that's it, folks. All right, y'all. For real now. For real this time. Goodbye. Bye.